If you've ever thought you're too old to get strong, too late to start moving, or that your best years are behind you, what I'm about to show you will completely change your mind. Because right now, at this very moment, women in their 70s and 80s are building muscle, gaining energy, and moving better than they have in decades. And here's the part that might shock you. Many of them started from complete inactivity. They started exactly where you are right now. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why age is not the barrier you think it is, and why your body is far more capable of change than you've been led to believe. I'll show you exactly what's possible when you understand the simple truth about how our bodies actually work after 60. Just like Barbara, 71, who couldn't walk up her stairs without stopping, and who 8 weeks later was gardening for hours without pain. Stay with me, because everything you thought you knew about being too old is about to shift. Let me tell you why this matters so much. Every single day, I work with women who carry the same heavy belief that they missed their chance. They look at the years they spent sitting, the exercise they didn't do, the strength they lost, and they've convinced themselves it's permanent. They've accepted a story that says, after a certain age, decline is inevitable and irreversible. This belief doesn't just live in your head. It shows up every morning when you struggle to get out of bed. It's there when you avoid activities you used to love because you're afraid you'll hurt yourself or embarrass yourself. It whispers to you when you see fitness content that seems designed for people half your age, making you feel invisible and forgotten. And worst of all, it keeps you stuck in a cycle where inactivity breeds more inactivity, where every year you wait makes the problem feel even more impossible. Let me introduce you to Patricia. She's 68 years old, and when she first came to see me, she could barely describe her situation without crying. Patricia told me she hadn't exercised in over 15 years. After her husband passed away, she stopped doing almost everything. She stopped walking in the mornings. She stopped tending her garden. She spent most of her days on the couch, and slowly, without even realizing it, her world got smaller and smaller. By the time we met, Patricia couldn't stand up from a chair without using her arms. She couldn't carry her own groceries. She had fallen twice in 6 months, and the fear of falling again had become paralyzing. But here's what broke my heart most. Patricia told me she felt like she had wasted too much time. She said, and I'll never forget this, "I'm 68. Even if I wanted to start now, what's the point? The damage is done." Maybe you felt exactly what Patricia felt. That deep regret about all the years you weren't active. That guilt that sits heavy in your chest when you think about how different things might be if you'd started sooner. That quiet voice telling you it's too late, that you're too old, that your body just can't do what it used to do. And when you combine that belief with the very real fear of getting hurt, or the embarrassment of not knowing where to start, it's no wonder you feel stuck. Here's something else that makes this worse. You've probably tried before. Maybe you started walking, or you bought some equipment, or you followed some generic exercise plan, and maybe you saw no results, or you felt pain, or it just didn't stick. And every failed attempt just confirms what you already feared, that you really are too old for this. That added another layer of discouragement that makes it even harder to try again. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly why most people never fix this, and why it has nothing to do with your age. But first, we need to talk about what most people get completely wrong about aging and exercise. There's a myth out there that's so deeply embedded in our culture that almost everyone believes it. The myth says that after 60, your body is in permanent decline. That muscle loss is inevitable. That weakness is just part of getting older. That if you haven't been active your whole life, starting now is dangerous or pointless. Here's the truth that changes everything. Your muscles don't have an expiration date. Scientific research shows that women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s can build muscle at roughly the same rate as younger people when they start resistance training. Your body doesn't know how old you are. It only responds to the signals you give it. And right now, by being inactive, you're sending your body the signal that it doesn't need to be strong. But the moment you change that signal, your body starts to change too. Another thing people get wrong, they think starting means going to a gym, lifting heavy weights, or doing intense workouts. They think it has to be hard and complicated and scary. But the truth is, the most powerful changes come from movements so simple, you'll barely believe they work. We're talking about exercises you can do in your living room with no equipment that take less time than watching one TV show. The barrier isn't your age or your current fitness level. The barrier is knowing exactly what to do and having the confidence to start. So let's talk about what actually works. Let's talk about the solution that's helped hundreds of women, just like you, go from feeling too old and too weak to feeling capable and strong again. The first thing you need to understand is this: strength isn't about how much you can lift. It's about how well you can live. And building functional strength after 60 is not about gym routines or fitness goals. It's about being able to get up from a chair without help. It's about carrying your groceries, playing with your grandchildren, traveling without fear, and living independently for as long as possible. When you shift your focus to functional movement, everything changes. Because suddenly, exercise isn't about looking a certain way or meeting some external standard. It's about reclaiming your life. The second key is starting with what I call foundation movements. These are basic patterns your body was designed to do: sitting and standing, pushing and pulling, balancing and bending. When you strengthen these patterns, even just a little bit, the benefits spread into every corner of your daily life. For example, when you practice standing up from a chair without using your hands, you're not just working your legs, you're building the exact strength you need to get off the toilet safely, to get out of a car easily, to move through your day with confidence instead of fear. Third, you need progression that respects where you are right now. This is where most programs fail women over 60. They either make things too hard too fast, which leads to injury and discouragement, or they make things too easy forever, which leads to no results. The sweet spot is gentle progression. You start exactly where you are, even if that means just practicing the movement without any resistance. Then, week by week, you add tiny amounts of challenge. This approach builds strength safely and sustainably, and it works even if you haven't moved in years. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 73, and she started working with me about 6 months ago. Margaret had been completely sedentary for nearly a decade after a knee injury. She was terrified of hurting herself again. When we started, she couldn't do a single bodyweight squat. She could barely balance on one foot for 2 seconds. But Margaret committed to just 10 minutes a day of foundation movements. She practiced sitting and standing from a chair. She did wall push-ups in her kitchen. She worked on her balance by standing near the counter. Within 3 weeks, Margaret noticed she could get up from her couch without pushing off with her hands. Within 2 months, she was walking upstairs without holding the railing. And just last week, she told me she went hiking with her daughter for the first time in years. Margaret didn't transform because she's special or because she was in better shape than you. She transformed because she started, because she stayed consistent, and because she gave her body the signal it was waiting for. Quick note: if you want all of this laid out for you step by step, I put together a complete guide called the Never Too Late Strength Revival Blueprint. Everything you need in one place. Check the pinned comment below and grab it. Now, the fourth principle is consistency over intensity. You don't need to work out hard, you need to work out regularly. 3 times a week for 15 minutes will change your life more than one exhausting hour-long session that leaves you sore and discouraged. Your body responds to repeated signals, not heroic efforts. And here's the beautiful part. When you keep the sessions short and manageable, you actually do them. You don't dread them. You don't skip them. And over time, those small sessions add up to massive change. Finally, you need to address the mental barrier. Because here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of women your age: the physical part is actually the easy part. The hard part is overcoming the belief that you can't. It's quieting that voice that says you're too old, too weak, too far gone. And the only way to quiet that voice is to prove it wrong. Not with big dramatic changes, but with small wins. Every time you complete a short session, you're gathering evidence that you can do this. Every time you notice a movement getting easier, you're rewiring the story you tell yourself. This is how confidence builds. So let's get practical. Let's talk about how you apply this starting today, right now, no matter where you are or what shape you're in. Step 1, prove to yourself you can start. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, I want you to practice standing up from a chair and sitting back down 10 times. That's it. Don't use your hands if you can help it. If you need to use your hands, that's completely okay. Just notice what it feels like. This single exercise strengthens your legs, your core, and your confidence. And the fear most women have here is that they'll look silly or that it won't make a difference. But here's the truth. This movement mimics dozens of activities you do every day, and strengthening it will make all of them easier. Step 2. Add balance work into your daily routine. Every time you're standing at the kitchen counter or holding onto a sturdy surface, practice lifting one foot off the ground for 10 seconds, then switch sides. Do this 3 times on each foot. Balance is one of the most important factors in preventing falls, and it's also one of the fastest things to improve. The common fear here is falling while practicing balance, but that's exactly why you hold on to something stable. You're training your body in a safe way so you can be steady in real life. Step 3. Incorporate wall push-ups. Stand facing a wall, place your hands flat against it at shoulder height, and do 10 slow push-ups against the wall. This builds upper body strength that helps you push yourself up from bed, catch yourself if you stumble, and carry things more easily. Women often fear that push-ups of any kind are too hard, but wall push-ups are so scalable that literally anyone can do them, and they deliver real strength gains. Step 4. Walk for just 10 minutes a day. Not for weight loss, not for cardio, but for mobility, for circulation, for keeping your joints healthy and your muscles engaged. You can break it into 2 5-minute walks if that feels better. The fear here is often about where to walk or what people will think, but you can walk in your home, in your hallway, around your block. Movement is movement, and it all counts. Step 5. Track your progress in the simplest way possible. Write down what you did today. Just one sentence. I did 10 chair stands. I practiced balance for 2 minutes. This creates a record that proves you're not stuck. It shows you that you're moving forward, even when progress feels slow. And on the days you don't feel like doing anything, looking back at what you've already done gives you the push you need to keep going. Let me tell you quickly about Diane. She's 76, and she started with exactly these 5 steps 4 months ago. She didn't believe anything would change, but she committed anyway. Today, Diane walks 3 miles a week, plays on the floor with her great-grandchildren, and told me last month that she feels stronger now than she did at 70. Now let's talk about what happens next, because you have a choice to make right now, and that choice will determine everything about how you feel 6 months from now. If you do nothing, if you close this video and go back to believing you're too old, here's what happens. 6 months from now, you'll be weaker than you are today. The activities that are hard now will be harder then. The fear you feel will be bigger. The regret will be heavier. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be will feel completely impossible to cross. Every day you wait, your world gets a little smaller, your body gets a little weaker, and the belief that it's too late gets a little stronger. But if you decide today that you're done accepting that story, if you decide to start, even in the smallest way, everything changes. 6 months from now, you'll move through your day with less pain and more confidence. You'll do things you've been avoiding for years. You'll feel capable instead of fragile. You'll look back at today as the moment everything shifted. Not because you did something extreme or impossible, but because you finally gave yourself permission to try. You're not too old. You didn't miss your chance. Your body is still capable of incredible change, and the only thing standing between you and a stronger, more active life is the decision to begin. Everything I just shared and more is waiting for you right now in the pinned comment below. Click it. Get the complete guide, because you deserve to stop carrying the guilt of years you can't change and start building the strength that will change everything going forward. Don't wait. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now, and I promise you, she'll thank you for starting today.